Hey everyone, so hopefully everyone can hear and see me. How are we doing? For some reason, I am on my wireless connection. I'm going to turn the volume up just a tiny bit here. Let's see, let's go a little higher on the volume. There we go. A little bit higher on the volume. How's everyone doing? Anyone in chat? Can anyone hear and see me? Let's see if anyone's in the chat to say hey. Anyone here? Hey, what's up, Campbell? Good to see you here, Campbell. Good to see you here, Walker. And everyone, I'll be right back in 10 seconds. There we go. Just make sure I turn the stove off. Yeah, everyone's in the chat now. Awesome. So good to see everyone. Got Lance, got Kyle, got Carson, got Peyton, got Rachel, got Sydney, got Son, got Harley, got Tion. I think we got it right now. Annabelle and Jackson and John. Is anyone else having trouble with MyPearson? MyPearson, I think every single person put their assignments to be tonight, like every educator across the world. And so because of that, I think MyPearson's getting overloaded. We'll look into this. If it persists throughout the day, we might be extending it. But thank you for everyone. I got a lot of emails, but it does seem to be a pretty big issue. The quizzes, the test opens up tonight or at midnight. But midnight's technically tomorrow, but it's Monday and Tuesday. So let's put that in big words right here. It says 2. We don't want to say 2. We want to say Monday and Tuesday. And this is the most important thing. This is the test. This is when your test is, Monday and Tuesday. Do not wait. Also, it's due Tuesday at 11:59 p.m. But don't wait. Don't feel like it's 11 at night. Don't wait till then because it will close then. I don't know if you can start it, but don't wait. Hey Jackson, don't wait until 11:59 on Tuesday to start it. Don't be like I can start right at 11:59. I'd try to make a time on Monday or Tuesday at 5 p.m. on Monday, 3 p.m. on Tuesday. If you run into any issues, please contact your instructor immediately. We're figuring out how to deal with every single issue, but please be in contact with us. It'll be a quiz on Canvas. I already have it on there. I think you can't see it in my class because I have it not published. So I might publish it here in just a little bit. Make sure you do the setup quiz. There's a setup quiz just to make sure you can use the Respondus software, make sure everything's working. Please tell us if anything crazy happens, like someone comes in. There'll be a calculator on the screen that you can use, so you won't need to do any advanced stuff. And you can have a scratch piece of paper out beside you. And if you want to print off the formula sheet too, and everything, any other questions? Lots of great questions. You're welcome, Rachel. Awesome. Yeah, this is one of the easiest ways for me to talk to everybody because, and I really appreciate it. There'll be a calculator that will be used with Respondus. So there will be an online practice. So the practice quiz is like a setup quiz, Allie. It's like a kind of getting you oriented to using Respondus. But I really think the Kahoot is a really great practice for the test. There's lots of multiple choice. There's lots of true, false, and you can write down the formula on the scratch piece of paper. If you can't print it, you can write the formulas. You will get your test grade back immediately. And so let's talk about, I think I can do it. I think I can. Great questions in the chat. So all of these excellent questions. Can't use your own calculator. Sorry if I know a lot of people, it's just a bummer because we don't know it just makes it a little more difficult, but there won't be advanced calculations on it. There's nothing too advanced. There's mainly dividing numbers, multiplying numbers, nothing really super advanced on it. It's just to keep everyone on the same track, on the same page. You will be able to see what you got wrong on April 5th, and you have through April 12th to see what you got wrong. Because we're trying to design this. Now, not everyone, here's the way the test works, is not everyone will get the exact same test. The test changes the answers, it changes the order of the answers, it changes the orders of the questions. We have pools of questions people get questions from. Now, don't go and tell your friend the question was such and such. But everyone gets a slightly unique test that covers all the same topics. So it's kind of like, when you take the SAT, everyone's going to get different questions, but it's meant to be a fair SAT that everyone gets analyzed like on the same level of difficulty. And so a lot of them now augment. I wish we could have this test augment to be like, if you kept getting hard questions right, you'd get harder and harder ones. We don't have that capability yet. The online calculator doesn't have those functions. I'm so sorry, Walker. I'm so sorry. So none of the confidence interval questions where you have to work out because it won't be anything too complicated. The confidence intervals questions for this test are, I'm going to keep answering questions and we'll start doing some of the homework assignments. The confidence intervals for this ones are p hat plus or minus z star, and we'll always give you z star. P hat, q hat, that's a hat, over n square root of the whole thing. That's the formula right there. Remember, I posted a formula sheet video to help out with it. So will it be reopened so we can use it to study for the final exam? This, so the final is its own thing. The final will be totally different. Hey, good to see you, Jake. The final is its own topics, and so you won't need to use this to really study up for the final. You can see what you got wrong. If there's any issues, you can talk to us, and that's what we want. Just to clarify, the test closes on Tuesday at midnight. Yep. So it well, be careful. So it's so confusing. The easiest probably way to say it is it's open all Monday and all Tuesday. So because Tuesday at midnight is technically Tuesday morning. We all kind of forget this because we think Tuesday at midnight, but Tuesday at midnight is Tuesday at 12 a.m., which is the start of Tuesday. We always think midnight's like the end of the day, but midnight is actually the very start of the next morning. So the easiest way to remember this, and make this very clear as possible, the test is open 24 hours Monday and 24 hours Tuesday. So just think of Monday and Tuesdays as full days, and test is open completely Monday, completely Tuesday. Does that make sense? Can I get some confirmations in the chat that everyone understands it's open all Monday, all Tuesday, Eastern Standard Times. All Monday, all Tuesday. Who knows how that works in the chat? It's all Monday, all Tuesday. Rachel says yes in the chat. All Monday, all Tuesday. Got some C. Muy bueno. So, Jackson, right there, I love it. Spanish is what I took in high school, and then I worked with a lot of Spanish speakers. So, me gusta español mucho. Muchos años pasado yo hablo español. Mi español es no bueno aquí, ahora. So, Eastern Standard all Monday, Tuesday. Thank you, Harley. Great communication in the chat right there. Sorry if I didn't see the answer, but is there a practice? It's very similar to like all the true falses on MyPearson, all the true falses. You'll get your grade back immediately, but you won't be able to see what you got wrong till Sunday. That way, if there's any kind of small issues, like someone's like, I'm on the other side of the world and I didn't get the time zones right, because a lot of different things could arise right now. We're giving the exam to 1,400 students. We're going to make sure by the end of the week, everything has been fixed, as in maybe, you would think maybe 1-2% of students will have issues. And we want to make sure everyone takes the exam, and then you'll be able to see it from Sunday to Sunday of the following week. So the practice exams on the stats homepage, I think they're pretty helpful. I always kind of downplay how important MyPearson is, but I think MyPearson is a little bit more important this time. Like when people ask me what should I study, I'm always like the practice exams. The practice exams are super important. I have looked over all the test questions, and I always try to structure my Kahoot where I'm literally dropping some hints on some questions. And the quizzes that'll help for the curve, that's an amazing question. So we can start transitioning into that topic here. It's all the quizzes from, it's going to be randomness. Actually, I can take a look at it on here. It's randomness, sample surveys, probability, and sampling distributions. So we're going to start working on some of those right here, and I do believe the quizzes will be a big, big help. And thank you, everyone, for being here. I'm going to release a schedule. I've been talking to a former Stat Lab worker. Did anyone go to Stat Lab much? It's like, oh, the good old days. You remember Stat Lab? We have a worker, Connor, who's an amazing Stat Lab worker, who I'm in talks with him. We've planned a schedule, and I think he's holding 3 Stat Lab hours a week, and then I'm going to be holding like 5. I know, RIP Stat Lab. We miss it. So pay respects for Stat Lab in there. Here, wait. There we go. Love him right there. Yes, I'll say Connor was telling me, he was like, I was getting some regulars. So Connor's stepped up. He's got I love the chat. So Connor is stepping up, and you guys are awesome. I tell you, it's so fun like doing this stuff right here. So we'll take a vote right here. Oh, we can do it. We got some cool features. You ready? I've been working with this a little bit more. So give me a half second here. We're going to go to Streamlabs, and we're going to take a vote in the chat. So give me a second. Okay, here we go. we're going to take a vote in the chat, and we're going to vote. Ooh, am I not logged in? Let's try this. We're going to give it a shot here. Cannot do it. I'm going to figure out quicker ways to do polls. You can type them in the chats. Randomness, sample surveys, probabilities, and the sampling distribution for the proportion, Rachel, and sampling distribution for the proportion, Jessica, to the rescue. Sampling distribution for the proportion and confidence rules for the true proportion. Jessica, nice job, amazing job. I love it when you guys are helping each other out. So let me do the thing. Okay, so let's do a poll right here. We can either do decision trees or do a quiz right now. So let me add a poll. Trees or quiz? Option 1, quiz. Command, quiz. Add that option. Option 2, trees. Okay, so we're going to do this. Let's pull up the quiz right here. Let's start the poll. Okay, so it should say the poll is started. Let's see if it goes in and says the poll is started. Okay, so you need to do exclamation mark vote quiz. So you have to type in the chat, and I can show you guys the voting going on right here. So you have to do it. I wonder if I can vote. You have to do it the following way. You have to go exclamation mark vote like that. There you go. You have to do it and do it with space. So we should start seeing those right there. And so it should start appearing. And I'll close the quiz here in oh, wow. This is, well, I think it's kind of obvious. I think we're kind of seeing, I'm sorry, Walker. Walker, I think you're getting outvoted right here. So you know what's really cool about this is, and make sure it has a space, a lowercase vote. I think it's pretty smart about it though. So can you do the sampling? Yeah, we can do the sampling distribution one. Okay, so we got this poll done, 30 votes. Wow, you guys are awesome. Okay, let's close the poll. Let's complete the poll. Let's do another poll here now. And let's ask which quiz. Let's do sampling distribution, or let's do confidence rules. So confidence rules are CI. So here we go. And let's do this quiz right here. And we're going to see what you guys want to do. So the second poll has started. So which quiz? Remember, exclamation mark vote sampling or exclamation mark vote CI. It's so awesome right here. People are voting. We got some 2 votes in. So be voting on this right now. I'll do whichever one you guys want. We can do some more votes on this. But yeah, so make sure it's spelled right. Sampling right there. But I'm trying to get more used to all the streaming stuff. But it's kind of cool how you guys can. I don't know. I really like it. It looked for a moment like there was a change of votes right there. Okay, we'll close the voting in about 4 or 5 seconds. Ooh, it's a 50-50 tie on the screen right now because I can watch it. Does anyone in the chat know Kit Boga? He does the scammer videos. I need to use whatever he uses because he can have it showing on the screen while he streams. So I need to somehow figure, ooh, it's super close. Get your vote in if you haven't gotten it in. Can we talk about the Pearson website? Is it still not working? Hopefully it's working. We might be extending it due to some errors. Make sure to use the exclamation mark vote. Make sure to do exclamation mark vote sampling or exclamation mark vote CI. I'm going to close the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here comes the poll. Oh my, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. Okay, wait, let's see if that went through. I am not joking. I think with that last vote, is it gonna show up? Wow, it actually changed. Okay, so you can see the results right here, just so you know I'm not making stuff up. So that did it right there. It was 50-50 when I looked at the poll. It was literally, I think you can only vote once. Okay, so we got votes for sampling right now. We'll do confidence rolls too. We'll have some fun here. We'll just kind of relax. Let's see if I can get MyPearson to load. Is anyone in MyPearson? Can anyone confirm they have gotten into MyPearson? I used it this morning, and then I was using it about an hour ago, and I've gotten a lot of emails. Don't worry, please email me whenever there's a problem. And I really think I start off the stream saying that I think like the whole world, you finally got in, awesome. I think like the whole world is trying to use MyPearson right now. So you're in. Just keep trying, and we probably are going to have to do an extension on this. Now, don't wait to do your homework because of this, but if this persists, it's kind of reaching the point where I'm thinking we're going to need to extend it. But Yeah, I'm so sorry. It was working kind of all week. This is the first I heard about it till about an hour or two ago. No complaints, but I think everyone probably across America had their homeworks open. So awesome. Good to see you. Anime. So sorry if I mispronounced it right there. So glad to see that. I got into it for like one attempt and tried. Oh no. Yeah. It's I think their server, because I think literally everyone across America. Okay, so let's see what I can do. And if not, I know a lot of these problems like the back of my hand, so I'll do any which one of them. If you say like, hey, do the banking problem, yeah, the bank loans problem, I can do them all. I've done them enough. So we will do the sampling ones first, and if I can't get in, I do know the problems. So you will have a video, and I will walk through every problem. I've done enough of them in Minecraft stream. I've got a really good gaming PC for some Minecraft right here. I like that suggestion right there, Jake. Okay, so let me get in here. Phone company problem. Won't change. I don't know about that. So, oh, I'm getting the sorry an error has occurred. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Show you guys. You guys know what this looks like. You're seeing this too right now. We need to call MyPearson tech support. We can make this a tech call-in stream. So that's what I'm seeing on my screen right now. Let's hope I can get into the assignments. It's just showing on the main screen. So, GG. Good game, man. So, we're sorry an error has occurred. Okay, it looks like I might be doing the problems from memory. Now, I have done them enough that I do know them. On my other computer was working. Okay, so who wants to do, we won't take a vote here, but just tell me, we've got the banking problem, we've got the waiter problem, which I did the waiter problem earlier this week. I'm trying to think what other major, we've got the CO2 one with the cars. First person just says whatever problem they want. The restaurant one. Okay, good. The restaurant one is a sampling distribution of the sample proportion one. I'm going to write out the problem again so we can do it right here. I've done these problems a lot. Let's do it. Let's do Cheddar's. Cheddar's is considering bringing back, well, we don't want to say if they're going to bring back smoking section. They used to have it when I worked there. Worked at Cheddar's for like 5 or 6 years. A restaurant. Ooh, I spelled right? That shall not be named. Is going to have a smoking section. They know, this is keywords, that clients want smoking. How can we study if it isn't working on MyPearson? We're going to probably extend it. That's... Jessica, yeah, I love cheese, man. Cheese is the best. We'll be extending it, so if you want some more time, maybe you have all of Monday, all of Tuesday, and I think it'll start to go back to normal as the things settle down. They have a total of 150 seats at their diner. If they want to ensure that they have 3 standard deviations above the expected, how many seats should they assign for smoking? Please round answer up. This is a key thing that this problem does, is it has you round the answer up. So this is literally, has anyone done the problem? They can confirm this is the information it gives you. You are supposed to look at this distribution. You'll make the sampling distribution of the sample proportion, and then you'll go 3 standard deviations up, and then you have to round up your answer. It's everyone, don't worry, I've done it. I've worked with students on it. I've forgotten to do it, but you have to round up your answer. It's over there on the side a little bit. It's like round up your answer. And I've fixed it for people because it's round up, and we always forget because we know how to round. It's like 2.1 is 2, but when you round up, it's 3. Okay, so let's identify what we have in this problem. Are you ready? Here we go. What is this? What is that right there? Who can tell me in the chat, what is that? What is 0.60? This is what we know. We know this about our customers. We know this. Space Pen is back. Oh, be careful, Peyton. Really close, but great job. Yes, that is P. Now, the reason this is P is because we know this. This is P because we know this. I'm trying to make that as clear as possible by saying, we know that 60% of our customers are 0.60, which is the proportion of our customers. You got it, Jake, right there. It is the truth. So we know this. Now, we're not saying we observed this 60% in a sample because that would make it p hat. This 150 is n. So if we said we observed 60% of our customers in a sample, that would be p hat. So p hat is from a sample, and p is for, whoops, almost put a hat on it. P is for the population. It is the true proportion. So listen to the question. If it says this is the proportion from a sample, it's p hat. If it's like this is the proportion for everyone, it is p. And thank you everyone for being in the chat talking. It's always fun to see the answers appear on the screen. Like I can look right over here and see what everyone's saying. I've got my screen this way, and then I've got you guys this way. Okay, so we almost got everything here we need. We just need to find the mean, and this is why I think a lot of people have problems with this question, is some of the earlier questions tell you to find the mean, but you'll see on your formula sheet, good to see you, JR, and you'll see the mean of p hat equals p. The standard deviation of p hat equals p times q over n square root. Say hello if you said that in the chat while I did this. There will be multiple choice on this test, you bet. Awesome, right there. So p times q, oh, Andrew's in the chat too. P times q over n square root. Oh, we got a hello in the chat. Someone said it with me. You don't need to memorize it, but just know what p is, know what q is. I like all hellos in the chat. Can anyone tell me what the mean of this distribution will be? What will the mean of this distribution be? Well, the mean is p. Have we identified p? We have. And then can anyone tell me what the standard deviation will be? Well, the standard deviation will be p times q. So remember, q is 1 minus p. And there we go right there. And we'll solve this right here, and we'll get the standard deviation. We're almost done with this problem. Just if you know the steps, it's a short problem, but it's super tricky because you're like, where do I have to go with this? So there's p times q over n square root. That's a super nice one. Well, it's how many seats? Can anyone tell me, since this is the standard deviation, can anyone tell me, nice job, Andrew, can anyone tell me what 3 standard deviations would be above the mean? We can actually draw this one super easy. I didn't mean to make a perfect problem, but this is a really great problem right now. Start thinking about what 3 standard deviations above the mean is. And so when you do 3 standard deviations above the mean, you would start here at 60, and you'd go to 64, go to 68, and someone probably said in the chat, who said in the chat? We got 72 from Jake and Campbell. Nice job, Jake and Campbell. So right there, yes, a lot of multiple choice. Awesome job. Thank you, Lydia, for helping out right here. I believe it's 0.04. Have I made a mistake, Jackson? I believe it's 0.04. We can check again. 0.4 would be pretty large, but we'll do it again. Let's check. PowerPoint, no. Okay, there we go. We're back. So P times Q, that was Q times P. P times Q over N square root. There we go. It should be 0.04. 0.4 would be huge right there. No, the internet went out. Oh my gosh, I'm doing Wi-Fi on the computer right now because the Ethernet's not working. So, but this is 72%. So here's the last part you have to do with the problem. What does this mean? Oh, it's funny. There we go. 72% of the seats at our restaurant is what we should use. So we need to take this 72% and times it by what? Who can tell me in the chat times 72 by what for the answer? Because we're saying we want 72% of the seats in our restaurant to, boom, Walker right there. Nice job. That is the answer. And remember to round up. So let's see what we'd put into MyPearson. If this was a MyPearson question, we'd do 0.72 times 150, and the answer would be 108 on the dot. Now, what would my answer be, hypothetically, what would I put into MyPearson if the calculator said this? If the calculator said this, what would I put into MyPearson? If the calculator said that when I solved the problem, it said that right there, what would I put in? You are right. That's where I see a lot of tiny mistakes on this problem because it says round up. So if the calculator said that, that's a hypothetical, we would round up to 109. It's just the way the problem wants you to work it. You're just like being cautious with the extra seat. But does that make sense and is anyone working that problem? We'll do another sampling distribution problem right here, but we've still got the cars with CO2 carbon monoxide. We've got the waiter-waitress problem, and we've got the bank problem. No, we won't do that roundup thing on the exam. That's just like one MyPearson problem that they created that we use. It's a good problem, except for it's not a, how did you get 72? 72 is 3 standard deviations above. And these can be considered decimals down here, like 0.72, but I went 3 standard deviations above the mean of the distribution. If it makes it a little bit better to see, these are actually proportions, they're decimals. I just didn't have much room to write, but it's 0.60, 0.64, and each time I do this, I'm going up 1 standard deviation. So to make it very clear here, let me kind of, hope that makes sense right there. If you notice, each of these, here's the mean of the distribution. That's the very center of it. And then I'm going up from that 1 standard deviation each time. So each of these right here is just 1 standard deviation up. And that would make it 3 standard deviations. Does that make more sense right there? You can do that. You can multiply 0.04 by 3 because that'd be 3 standard deviations. The answer is 108 for this version of the question I did. Why would it round up? Just because the question says Tion right there. It's just the question says please round up. When you do this one on MyPearson, it says round up. No other reason than the question telling you to. They're going to be a little bit more like MyPearson. So it'll be a little bit more like a MyPearson exam. But why don't we just use P instead of P hat and Q instead of Q hat? Great question, Tracy. So this is hey, good to see you, Adam. Really complex question right there, because the question is, why do we use P instead of P hat or P hat instead of P? Now, this is a very quick theoretical thing. If you know the truth, should you use the truth or your sample to create your things over here? And the answer is, if you know the truth, you would use the truth. So I'm going to bring up a new sheet, and you'll see this is a very, very quick example. In this chapter, when we do this, we'll use P because we know the truth. But when you make a confidence interval, if you make a confidence interval for the truth, it's because you no longer know the truth. If you make a confidence interval for the truth, it's because you don't know the truth. So this all up here is sampling, and this down here is confidence intervals. So if you notice, and ignore these right here for the moment, because what you're looking at here is we're using P as our estimate and P times Q over n square root as the standard deviation. Now down here it's P hat and Q hat because we no longer know P, and we're using our best estimate of P to be P hat. Does that make more sense right there? When you make a confidence interval, you only know the sample and you're estimating the truth. When you know the truth, you can estimate what you see in a sample. So you're like, oh, if this is the truth, here's what I might see in a sample. But if you only have a sample, you might say, let me estimate the truth. But really good theory question there. Like, why do we use P instead of P hat at times? It's which one are we interested in understanding? Do we know the truth and want to see what we'll see in a sample? So if you know the truth and want to see what you'll see in a sample, which one would you use? Who can answer that right there? If you know the truth and want to estimate what you might see in a sample, which one would you use? P or P hat? If you know the truth, you'll use the truth. Because right here, that question, if you know the truth and you're trying to estimate what you'd see in a sample, well, this is when you know the truth and you're trying to estimate what you might see in a sample. But if you only know the sample, you would use the sample to estimate the truth. Remember how confidence intervals interpretations go. I am 95% confident that the true proportion is contained in the interval. Well, what's your best estimate of the true proportion? The sample proportion. When you estimate the true proportion, you do not know the true proportion. There are 44 questions, I believe, on the test, Adam. Great question right there. I think there's 44. Is it Andrew's birthday? Oh, Andrew, happy birthday. Hope you're having a great day today. So have some fun. Enjoy it. I'd say go to Barley's because I know that's like your favorite place. So, but I think you're close. P hat is sample proportion. Lydia, great answer in the chat right there. P hat is the sample proportion. Keep those questions coming. I can see everything, and I'm a gamer nerd, so I'm used to kind of like doing 2 things at one time. I'm trying to see if MyPearson will still do it. So let's do another question. I know other ones by memory, pretty much the whole chapter by now, but we have the cars with CO2. We have the banking problem and the waiter problem. People want the waiter problem. You asked, you shall receive. So let's do the waiter problem. Okay. The waiter problem has two things in it, two parts to it. The waiter problem says a waiter knows that their tips are normally distributed. Now, it could say a little skewed to the right. We could do that. Are a little skewed to, can't spell skewed, to the right with a mean of, let's go with a mean of $6.50 and a standard deviation of, let's go, $5. This is not on this current test. This is on the next test. This is sampling distribution of the sample mean. So if you want to, like, don't leave, but just like, this is not on the current test. This is sampling distribution of the sample mean. You can tell because this is quantitative data, because it's how much tip did you make. You're welcome, Andrew. So they wait on 25 tables over the weekend. So let's do question A. They make at least, let's go $500. Well, that's not going to happen. Let me look at the math on this. So, okay, let me make this easier on myself. There, I'm not going to that much of a tip. There we go. Now my life's a lot easier. So let me think about this. So that'd be 80, 60, 200. Okay. So let's go here and go to 220. There we go. Oof. Oh, wait. So I'm just thinking about this for a second. 220 would be, let me go to 2. Sure, we'll do 240. I think that should be good enough for me to solve. We got a typo. Okay. So we're only going to chapter 13, part 1 and 2. Yep. Chapter 13, part 1 and 2 for the exam. Rachel, great question. So sampling distribution of the sample proportion, sampling and confidence interval. Sampling distribution of the sample proportion and confidence intervals. Like at least 240. How much do, I cannot spell, they make on the best 1% of... Now I'm just trying to make mistakes. Okay, here we go. So this is the whole question right here. Chapter 13 is sampling distribution of the sample proportion and confidence intervals. So that's chapter 13. And it starts off with decision trees and randomness. So remember, there are review sheets still up on the Stats 1 webpage. So that's got all the info about what is covered on the Stats 1 review page. Check that out. And there are a lot of review videos. So, and keep asking those questions we got. Okay, so here's the full question. So we need to know which formulas to use for this. The formulas we need to use are mu y bar equals mu. You know what's interesting about this? Do you remember that formula we just wrote a moment ago of mu p hat equals p? It's very, very similar. It's like we're doing the same thing, but instead of doing it for proportions, we're doing it for the mean. And if you now realize we're going to do a standard deviation also, let me do that in a different color right here so it's easy to see which one's which. Standard deviation of y bar equals sigma over square root of n. And if you remember, this is the p times q over n square root for the other one. Now, a lot of people say to me, well, how do you know which one to use? It's because we're doing tips, and tips are quantitative. So you know that with quantitatives, with means, you're doing the sampling distribution of the sample mean. Does everyone see right here where it says mean? And then we're doing the sampling distribution of the sample mean. That's the key thing. So now all we have to do is solve this. Who can tell me what the mean for the distribution of the sample mean is? And let's talk about what that means. So many means in there. The mean for the distribution of the sample mean is going to be what? What is the mean for the distribution of the sample mean? What is the mean for the distribution of the sample mean? Any ideas? What is the mean for it? Let's see what numbers we got in here. We've got this, and we've got this. You were right, Jack. It's $8. Great work in there. We're gonna add a few more mods in here. Who wants all to be a mod? Say me if you want to be a mod in the chat. We'll make some mods in the chat. So let's see. We're making mods so people, in case someone comes in and starts saying things that they shouldn't, we can just be like, nope, you can't say that. So we got it right here. I'll start. So many. So the mean is going to be 8. There you go. I think there you see I've already modded a few people. You're like, wait, no, I'm a mod. Campbell, why are you not a mod, Campbell? I know. Oh, there we go. Sean, there we go. Sean, 2 seconds. It pops over the message when I make a mod. It's like, so-and-so is now a mod, but I'm trying to mod more people. I think I've modded. There we go. And then, okay, cool. There we go. No. I just hit a person. Sorry. Unhide user. I'm so sorry. Let me make you a mod now. Okay, good. Sorry. It's one button away. That was a misclick. You should be fine. Type if you, I think, okay, good. It's clicking a lot of stuff. Okay. So here we go. Good to have you guys as mods here. So I know I fixed it. Mods can see that. I was like, no. Yeah, we only remove things if someone comes in here and starts saying things they shouldn't. It rarely happens, but it's good to have quite a few mods that, you know, we can control if people were to say things they shouldn't. But I've also got things on here, like I've got Streamlabs and YouTube has its own filters. So Streamlabs can be overreactive. Your personal life is filled. That's awesome, Jessica. So here's the standard deviation. You remember it was sigma over square root of n. What did Brian do to make his life easy with this problem? Does everyone know what the standard deviation is going to be equal to? What did I do to make my life easy? Any ideas? What did I do to make my life easy? What is the standard deviation going to be? In my horrible, horrible handwriting. You're right, Jake. It is 1. Drawing this is going to be really easy right now. Ah, oh, man. You know me and Taco Bell. I haven't been to Taco Bell, I think I've been there once this year. I can't remember if it was December or January. Because I know I went there a few times. I think it was over winter break. It was probably towards the start of it. I used to go to Taco Bell and get 3 things. It's a lot of food. But now sometimes I'll get 3 things and I'll make a whole day's food out of it. But it's not good. I mean, it's good, but no, I've started to get way less from Taco Bell. Usually I'll go now and just get 2 things. Oh, you're good. No, I've already eaten. I was checking the stove earlier to make sure. I was like, did I turn off the stove? I don't want to start streaming and then start smelling stuff. This is Resident Evil. What is it? What is RS6? I don't know what RS6 is. You'll have to tell me. What is that? Let's talk about what I've got drawing right here. Rainbow Siege 6. Yeah. I know that right there. I should have known that. I just don't see that one abbreviated. I thought that was Resident... I know RE6 is Resident Evil 6. Awesome. Sigma is the true standard deviation, Sean. Great question, Sean. Sigma is the true standard deviation. My cooking videos would be so lame. Sigma is the true standard deviation, and we see that right there. It's different than S. S is the sample standard deviation. Apparently, this waiter knows in the long run, they know what their true standard deviation is. And so it's saying not that they saw standard deviation on these 25 tables. If it was the standard deviation of these 25 tables, it would be S. But it's the standard deviation for their long run, for the whole time they've been waiting tables. So we're only a few steps away from solving this. We need to find out the probability they make at least 240. So what average tip would they need on 25 tables to make $240? Whoops. To make $240 on 25 tables, they would need $9.60. Does this make sense right here? We're looking, this distribution you're seeing right here, and I've got a green screen coming, but this distribution you see right here is their average tip on 25 tables. So I want to do more video game stuff because I always think video games and stats go hand in hand. I mean, it's all about stats in video games. You look at your ratio in games and stuff like that. So stats are very important in games. So I want to do maybe some of that. If you guys would, we'll start doing Twitch stuff. Would you guys support it if we did Twitch stuff? If I started streaming on Twitch, would you guys come over there and say hey and watch a stream? I might do some stats stuff on Twitch, teaching stats on Twitch. We'll try to do that. So we'll see if we can make that a reality right here. This is the answer for A. And then, yeah, Jake, know what I'm talking about. All FPSs have that right there. And then the top 1%, where's that going to be at? That's going to be right about here. This is the answer. Oops, it looks like I'm pointing at the wrong answer. So this is the answer for A, and that is the answer for B. I'll talk about how I got that in a second here. So what you need to do, we've drawn out our answers, and please, I always support this of have something out beside you and write down your answers, because A would be, well, it's not going to be 9.6. I'll show you what it is. Great question in the chat right there, Rachel. It's very, let me explain, because I kind of went on a tangent. We get one tangent with every question. That's the Brian teaching method. So all I'm doing is using the applet right here, which I know we don't have during the test, but I'm going to make it look just like what we drew. It has a mean of 8 and a standard deviation of 1. Now, to make 250, they need to make at least $9.60. Now, I want you to see this. I want you to see the graphic we just drew, which is all the way over here. And then we're going to Alt-Tab back. And does it look like this? Does this graphic right here, where A is at, do you see where A is at? Does that look like this right here? And it should. This graphic right here looks like this graphic right here where A is at. That's the shading. Now, the answer is the shading. There could be screenshots and understanding like how to do, there'll be more math, multiple choice, more theory questions, stuff like that. And the answer for the question would be this right here. That is the answer to the question. So the answer to the question is 0.0548, because that is the probability. So remember the question asked, what is the probability? And the probability is this shading to the right of A. Does that make sense right there, Rachel? The probability is the shading to the right, and there will be some multiple choice, there'll be some true false, and some fill in the blank. True, false, multiple choice, fill in the blank. On the test, are we allowed to jump around questions? Yep. All the questions will be displayed at one big thing on the test. So probability is the shading to the right of A. Yes, Tracy, amazing answer. And so B asks, how much do they make? And so I want you to pretend that you wait tables at this restaurant. Yeah, the answer would be however many decimals it said right here. That would be the answer for this, and it's however many decimals it wants on that. So is there a video on the applet? I am bad at reading those. Ask any questions you have, Jessica. I should make more videos on it. I'll try to help. Always try drawing it and ask any questions you have. I don't know if I have great videos on that yet. I thought I made one a while ago. So the next part of it reads, how much do they make on the best 1% of their weekends? Now, I want you to pretend you work at this restaurant and you wait tables a whole weekend. I want you to pretend you do that. How much, just come up with a story in your mind. How much money did you make? And you worked at the restaurant all weekend, or like you worked a whole weekend, you waited 25 tables. How much money did you make? Now, remember in the previous problem, it said we made $240 all weekend. So how much money would you make on the best 1% of your weekends? Not your average tip, but how much money would you make? And you can kind of maybe see the answer, because what is it showing you? And the test will appear under quizzes. If you can't find it, once it's up tomorrow, please email us. It'll appear under quizzes, Xavier. Great question. But would like to see what... so yeah, Tracy, if you can ask specific on that. And I think I might have stumped everyone with my question right here. I just want us to imagine, because I think this is where sometimes people make mistakes, is that whenever you put in an answer, remember, you're saying on the best 1% of weekends, you would make this much money. So what we have to do is we have to go back to the applet, and we have to go here, and we have to put in $8 as the center, and $1 as the standard deviation, because that's what we found earlier. And then we have to go to the best 1% of weekends. Now, does this graphic here look like where I shaded B? Does everyone see B is between 10 and 11? And then over here, B is between 10 and 11. It's like 1/3 the way across 10. And then you look down here and it's 1/3 right there. Does everyone see where B is at? And that is where it's at right here on this graphic. So I was able to accurately represent it without going to the applet. That's just a thing you practice up and you can get a good drawing of. So try to do things without the applet. And then if you can draw the picture without the applet, you'll usually be able to put it into the applet pretty decently. Because now I want to know, where is this line? Because I'm asking this one, and let's review the app a little bit. This one right here, you get a value from an area. So what am I inputting into this curve right here with this? It says it. What am I inputting? So can you show again? Yeah, this is what I'm going to show right here, Rachel. Great question. I'm inputting a what right here? I'm inputting an area. It says value from an area. So I could ask the best 20% of weekends. I could also go to the worst 20% of weekends. Does everyone see how this would be like the worst 20% of weekends? This question right now would have to read, tell us about the blank percent of their what weekends. So tell us about this right here. It'll be a lot of like pictures or conceptual or like simpler math problems. Macy, good question. Simpler, more conceptual kind of problems, nothing too complex. The test is a little bit more simpler, so I think a little bit easier to handle. So what does this look like right here? This is the blank percent. Yep, 1% came from the problem. It said, tell us about the best 1%. And so right now I don't have displayed the best 1%. I have displayed the worst 1%. Does everyone see that? This is not the best 1% of their weekends because this is tips. So this would be the worst 1% of their weekends. And if I want to make it the best, I have to put it on the other side of the curve. And now this is the, yep, great job, Rachel. This is now the best 1% of their weekends. And where is this at? Tracy said it's about 2.326. There we go. And it's because you're adding that to 8 now. But there it is right there. There is where the line is. So what does this mean? This is the average tip they got on the best 1% of their weekends. How many times did they get this tip? This is their average tip. So their average tip would be times by what? Let's go back to the question. Their average tip would, what would a question look like if we needed to use the between? That would be more confidence interval question. Great question right there, Rachel. That one we usually use for confidence intervals, which we can do one of those next. I can do a confidence interval one. So I can do 10 of those. Below is the worst, above is the best. Yep, I believe so. Yep, because below this, the 1%. Yep. And so what do we have right here? Remember, it was 10.326. And 10.326 is their average tip on how many tables. 10.326 was their average tip on how many tables. That was their average tip on how many tables they waited on. The answer is 25. Does that sound like a pretty decent weekend waiting tables? I'm waiting for a waiter at a really nice restaurant to be like, I make $700 a weekend. I'll be like, whoa, you can make a lot of money waiting tables. Well, not right now. But yeah, you can do pretty well waiting tables. I've waited tables at Orangery, Cheddar's. Did I wait anywhere else? Maybe only 2 places. So oh no. At Club LeConte. There we go. Self-waited. So I was like, I thought I waited somewhere else. Waited tables. Should be like, tell me my first job in the chat. I worked at a grocery store. So takes a lot of patience. Let's do another question right here. So we've done 2 problems so far. Thank you everyone for being here. We're going to keep working problems. Ruth Chris, ooh. Can you just like take a steak? That'd be so good. Yeah, Ruth Chris, like, I love going there with Chelsea. Like that's, oh man. So I just want to go there with Chelsea. So it's so good. You be really funny too. And that one, yeah. When you wait tables, you have to know what everyone wants for their service. So some people want like silent service. Some people want, like you to be talkative. And so I appreciate that. I think waiting tables got me used to talking to people. It's like my whole life has like led up to teaching. It's like, I don't know, like gaming and teaching. Now everything I do is like talking to people on the internet. So waiting tables is it's a lot of fun though. Shifts went by like this. So, but yeah, are there any other waiters in the chat or waiters or waitresses? Anyone ever have server nightmares? Like, you know what I'm talking about, server nightmares. If you're ever a waiter or a waitress, I haven't had one in a long time. Probably 'cause I haven't waited tables in a long time, but you know what I'm talking about. Could you do the glucose problem on the confidence rolls? Yes. Let me try to remember that one. That one so you might remember right there. Chick-fil-A first job, Al Calhoun's. Calhoun's pretty good, Calhoun's. The glucose problem, does it ask us? Oh, I think I know that one. Is that the one with the children, the adult it ends with? The final thing? No, just school nightmares. I had a table of 75. Holy mackerel, Peyton, you win the prize. I think the glucose one is about estimating, it's a proportion one, isn't it? It's a proportion one, and it's children versus adults at the end. And that's where you definitely put gratuity on that. If you didn't, then I mean, everyone's like, yeah, don't put it on there. I'm like, I know. I have server nightmares all the time. I worked at Sana and the guy poured his root for... What? Why would someone do that? That's horrible. Like on purpose or like knocked it over. That's horrible. That sucks. Okay. So I believe we're talking about a sampling distribution of sample proportion 1 where you have to, it reads something like this. Does that sound right? Oh, it asks how many adults should be randomly sampled. Is it one that asks you to like cut the standard deviation in half? I can show you a trick for that one. We'll do that, and then you can tell me if I'm wrong about. That's so wrong. That's ridiculous. Yeah, no call for that. So, let's say hospital wants to do research on the proportion of people who have glucose problems. They want to create a confidence interval with, oh, this is going to be fun. Yeah, I'm going to try to do this one the best I can from memory. Sorry, I think this is a newer one that I added. And maybe I'll try, let me see if I can pull up the problem, because this one I don't know from memory perfectly right now. They want to create a confidence interval with a margin of error of 0.05, and we should give this a 95% confidence interval. The margin of error of 0.05. How many people should they sample? Okay, so there's two different versions of this question right here. You guys are awesome in chat. There's one that doesn't tell you what to assume, and then there's one that tells you what to assume. So I've seen two different versions of this type of problem. But when we build a confidence interval right here, and this goes back to Rachel, I think it was, had the question about when do we use the between. The between is really good for confidence intervals. So if you ever wonder what is the score, you're welcome, Jacob. If you ever wonder what is the score for a 95% confidence interval, the z-score, it's 1.96. And we can change this right here to a 90% confidence interval, an 80% confidence interval, a 99% confidence interval, 98% confidence interval, all this stuff right here. This will be on the test, Courtney. This is confidence intervals for the true proportion. So this is confidence intervals for the true proportion. And if you guys want, join in any of our live classes. I give the class twice, so don't worry, the class is not 3 hours. But you can always join in. You can always ask questions. We take every single question. So this is how we do it. And I'll have a green screen soon, and maybe I'll stand up. Who knows? I don't know. We'll figure out a good way, because I miss standing and teaching. Gosh, it's so funny. I never thought I'd like that standing desk I had at the studio, but it was just way more comfortable. Okay. Does everyone understand that these are the z-scores right here? We will give you it. We'll just say, like, the test would say something like a 98% confidence interval. No, don't memorize these. I know them by memory, but don't do that. It'll say like a 98% confidence interval has a z-score of 2.326. Nope, it might have you like solve it like an algebra problem. I think there is, I'm not trying to give away too much about the test, but there's a little bit of algebra work, as in like, here's like a major hint for the test is like, yes, sometimes you will kind of maybe have to do an algebra thing with the formula. This is a big hint for the test. You may have to do some sort of algebra sort of work with this sort of formula right here. We didn't make it too crazy. I think it's a little bit easier. Jessica dies right there. But you may have to do some sort of algebra with this. Let's make sure everyone knows right here. And these are in a lot of my videos. But this right here is the center of the interval. This right here is the what? Who knows in the chat? Let's see if you, while I'm writing this, I want you to write it. What is this? What is this whole thing? You should be writing it out as I write it. As soon as you know it, start writing it. It's good practice. Oh, I'm seeing stuff. You got it. The writing ME. I wrote the whole thing. You're right. It's ME, margin of error. And so this here is a test statistic, and this here is the standard error. So I try to make this as clear. Welcome to man, I haven't heard that in a while. Man, I like Moe's Nacho Bowl. You guys just make me hungry now. This is not on the test, but I want us to look at this. I want us to think about this right here. This is on the next test, but it's important to understand what's going on right here. What is the center of the interval I just wrote? What is the center of the interval I just wrote? The new one I just wrote, which is not for this problem, not for this test, but what is the center of that interval? The center of that interval is what? It is, just look at the pattern, same pattern. It is y bar, which is the sample mean. And if we're using the sample mean, we're trying to estimate the true mean. Just like up here, we're using the sample proportion to estimate the true proportion. Just listen to the words. Sample proportion estimates true proportion. Sample mean estimates true mean. What does the z-score give us right here? Do you remember previously we were doing this? The z-score, which is down lower here, that's the z-scores I'd be using for a 98. Here's the z-scores for a 95. What do the z-scores tell you? Hint, hint, hint right up here. What do the z-scores tell you? What do the z-scores tell you? The z-scores here are used for your what? Tells you the what of your interval. It's like related to what part of this problem. The z-score is related to your kind of pretty much right there. And it'll be the confidence level, how wide it is, like based on the confidence level. So everyone's pretty much on track. It's how many standard deviations you go out to make a certain percent confidence level. Perfect, good answers right there. Your percent confidence. Yep, that's how you'd know what z you're using. So guess what? Guess what the t does down here. Now these are the degrees of freedom below it. That's a subscript. But guess what the t does for that interval, which is a new thing we learned this week. Anyone have any idea what the t does? Look at the spot it's in. What do you think the t does? It probably tells you your what? Your percent confidence. It's in the same spot. It does the same thing. It's part of the margin of error. Then the top thing up here is the standard error for the sample proportion. This right here is the what? The top part right there is the standard error for the sample proportion. I'm going to give away. We're going to do it. We're going to give away 100,000 points. You know what time it is. 100,000 points. Oh, I hit the wrong button. You know what time it is right here. Oh, that Campbell got it right there. Campbell. Yes, everyone's saying it. You get 100,000 points right there, all those people. No, that matters for other classes. Okay, we're good with the random now. But that's our random button. We love that random button. So we have the standard error for the sample mean, because the top one was the standard error for the sample proportion. So good stuff right. Oh my gosh. No, it's back. Now that was random. Oh, because I hit Control Z on that. Let's try this another. Okay, we got it. I was like, okay. That was a true randomness right there. True random. That's what every statistician wants. Okay, so now we're going to solve this problem right here. You got to watch for the wolf in there. Wolves are cool, as Jason would say. Past research indicates that 30%. Okay, so what do we have right here? Now, this isn't really p hat. It's what we're assuming for the problem, because one of them has you do it. So you'd put right here 0.30. And what's interesting, and we actually don't need this because we want a margin of error of that. So everyone see how this is the margin of error? So I'm going to set the margin of error equal to that. I love the chat. It might be that, Adam. Wow, Adam, if you solved it, amazing work. 100,000 for Adam right there. That might be the answer. I haven't solved it yet. We'll have to do this in the calculator a few steps. I did have this like memorized like a week ago because I'd done this problem like 1,000 times. I knew I had it written on board in my office. So let's see right here. First thing we're going to do is we're going to divide by z. So we're going to go 0. Oh, wait, but let's write what z is. We know what z is. Z is 1.96. Whoops, that's eraser. So z is 1.96, and then we'll write the formula for this on here as like a cheat sheet thing. So we're going to go 0.05 divided by 1.96, and that's that, 0.0, so that's 0.0, oh, let's write it out formulaically, 0.05 divided by 1.96, and then we're going to square it, and that will leave this over here. All we're doing is doing algebra now. This is turned into an algebra problem. And now we can take, and we can solve this quite a few bits of ways. You can kind of cross multiply stuff. If you think about this right here of all being over 1, that should work right there. And this should work correctly because that is over 1. Now we can take and put the n on this side. You see I'm just bringing it over. We're just doing like where you multiply the sides. and I think I'm doing this all correctly. We're kind of just flipping it. If we multiply both sides by n, and then we have to divide both sides by that. Okay. I think I've done this correctly. Yeah. We'll cross our fingers, and then we'll hopefully get it right. I do statistics, not algebra. Even though we put algebra problems on this. There we go. Okay, so that's the answer right there. This one's a little bit more complex than we'd like on the test, and let me write this out as a formula. The formula for this is that n is equal to p hat times q hat over, and then we'll make sure this is right. Something about it looks a little bit off to me. Oop, that's not n, that's not z. That's me. Okay, there we go. There we go. So I wrote it down as a formula down there that is when you solve for n with the margin of error. We start off the very top with the margin of error right here. Margin of error equals this. And then we solved for n. And then we wrote it out as a formula so we can just plug the numbers in if we're ever given this problem again. We know now the formula because we just took that's p hat, that's q hat, that's the margin of error right there. That is the z-score, and then we square it. So let's solve it over here. See if we get what Adam got. If we did, we probably did it right. We'll hope. So I think we already did. Well, we'll do margin of error. Margin of error divided by 1.96 is the following. Square that. So that is that squared. Hopefully that copies. P times Q over N. Invalid input. We need to take that number we got. So margin of error. Can't do it right. Okay. 0.05. Let me try this again. 0.05 divided by 1.96. Square it. And so that's 0. And then 3 zeros, 65077. So 65077, got it. And then 0.3 times 0.7 divided by 0.000065077. And yeah, woo, we got the same answer. Adam, good job. And there's lots of MyPearson issues right now. Thomas will probably be extending the MyPearson stuff. I think everyone across the world is trying to do it right now. So it looks like we did this correctly. I know. Nice job, Adam. Great work right there. And just knowing how to understand, if you notice how we started this problem, we looked into what the problem gave us, and we tried to make sure we could take notes on it. Like this problem gave us right here. This is going to give us the z-score. Let's put that in red. This is going to give us space pen. That gives us the z-score. This gives us the margin of error. And then this is what we assume for p hat. And then q hat. Does everyone see? Yeah, I know. It started happening around like 3 p.m. today. We already got on these. Do we have to? Nope. If you're happy with the grades, good job. Good job. You can't make up 0.31 of a person. So, so wait. What do you mean, Walker? I'm so confused, Walker. I don't understand, Walker. So yeah, if the problem said round up or round down, yeah, you probably would. It might say round up or round down. A lot of times they say round, except for that one problem. So it'd probably be 323. Great answers in the chat. It'd probably be 323. For the person who asked the problem, did this make sense right here? Was this along the lines of what you were asking? There's one more quick one. I'm going to show you the quickest trick in the world. You ready for this? Watch this. The margin of error for that problem we just did is computed the following way. This is a trick for some of the MyPearson problems. The margin of error is equal to z times p hat q hat over n square root. Now, if you wanted to take your margin of error and make your margin of error half, couldn't you just times it by a half to get half the margin of error? Couldn't you just do that right there? Does that make sense? If I wanted to get half the margin of error, I could just times it by 1/2. Does everyone agree with that? Just think of it. If you want to get half of something, everyone agrees with that. Campbell's good with that. I like that right there. We just times it by a half. But what if I wanted to bring this half and put it inside of this radical right here? Can I just take this 1/2? Would it be the same mathematically if this thing just moved in here and it was just like, hey, I'm just gonna move in right here and I'm gonna go right here and be a 1/2 right here. Does that make sense? Is it good? Is it chill? Does that work? What do you guys think? Is that good mathematics to just do that? Can something just go into a radical like that? Nope. What do we have to do to it? What do we have to do to it? How could it be 1/2 inside of there? You guys probably know. You can't do that. So you can't do that. You can't just put things into radicals. They were seeing it right there. Oh, yes. You need to square it first. Well, let's square this and let's square this. Does that make sense? Great answers. So let's do that. And what do we get? Can't click my buttons. 1 squared is 1. And then this is 4. So really what we're doing right here, if you look at it, is this right here, this p hat, q hat over n is actually being timesed by this right here, which is just what is this thing that I'm highlighting right here that it's getting times by? What is that? What is the square root of 1/4? Because you can write the square root of 1/4 as square root of 1 over square root of 4. What is the square root of 1/4? Because now you can put that inside the radical. It's just 1/2. So if you want to get half the standard error or half the margin of error, how much sample size should you take? You should take how many more times of a sample if you want to get half the margin of error? And this is a question you sometimes get. You would take how much more of a sample to get half the margin of error? There's sirens outside. How much more of a sample would you take to get half the margin of error? You would have to take, the answer is 4 times. So because you'll be multiplying, if you look at this right here, you're multiplying n by 4. Does that make sense? So to get half the margin of error, you have to take 4 times the sample. Because this is the same thing as cutting it by 1/2. Now what's interesting, I want everyone to tell me, and this is something neat about mathematics, or at least statistics and the way it works, if you wanted to take a third, like if you wanted your margin of error to be 1/3, how much more, like if you made it, don't worry Campbell, if you want to get 1/3 of your margin of error, how much more of a sample would you have to take? You'd have to take this many times more of a sample to get 1/3. You'd have to take this many times more of a sample to get 1/3 of your margin of error. To get 1/3 of your margin of error, you'd actually have to take how much more of a sample? So think about what we just did and do it again. Who knows in the chat? Not just 3 times, 9 times. Because for it to come in here to the radical, you have to square each of them. Because then it'll get square rooted. And so that's all we're doing with 2. So think about this. If you wanted 1/10 of your margin of error, how much more of a sample would you have to take to get 1/10 of your margin of error? So if you wanted to be like, oh, I want 1/10 of I want my interval to be way tighter. No, tell me if there's a silly, you got it, Walker. Walker's on track. He knows what's going on over there in Texas. Oh, did you get some Whataburger? Man, I wanted some Whataburger. It's so funny. The first time I had Whataburger, I didn't really like it a lot. And I was like, eh. And then I had it again. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. It's now I want some Whataburger. So I was like, hey, Bobby, let's go do some what? I can't do a King of the Hill right now. It's horrible. It's like, so for like first time I heard about Whataburger. So unbeatable. Oh man. Even better than Stock and Barrel burgers. Walker, did you ever go to Stock and Barrel burgers when you were in Knoxville? Stock and Barrel is my favorite. They've got a burger called the Bernie. It's got a blue cheese and fried jalapenos and I think raspberry sauce on it. So like it's got this like spicy, but as soon as you get the hot from the jalapenos, you get this like sweet. So like blue cheese, jalapenos, and like a blueberry sauce or something on it. And you'd never think blueberry sauce and burgers would work well, but like the creamy, hot, cheesy, sweet sauce. Oh, sauce. And there's my New Yorker. Yeah, I've never had an In-N-Out burger. So Stock and Barrel, people are liking Stock and Barrel in the chat. What's your favorite burger there, Jake? Ask another question if you have it. We'll do another topic. Whatever topic you want to hear about. We just take a moment between test questions or questions to just talk about the world today and all the burgers we miss. Like once this all ends, I'll be like, getting burger. The Farmhouse. Oh yeah, Farmhouse. Does it have an egg on it? One of the top 3 burgers I ever had in my life had like an egg on it. Got it at some sort of like, it was like my friend when I went to visit him. We went to like this, like, it's like this, I can't remember. Maybe it was a dream. But that's when I went to visit Cody. The chicken and waffle burger all the way. Good stuff right there. Ask questions if you got it. Say, hey, Brian, do another confidence roll one. Do another sampling distribution. You could talk about confidence rolls for the mean. Any problem you have from this week's. Come to Chicago and eat Portillo's. Ooh, that sounds good. My daughter likes peanut butter on her burgers. Ooh, peanut butter. I should try that. I bet Elvis was totally into that. Like, you know what might be really, really good? Like a peanut butter bacon cheeseburger. Like, maybe cheddar. I'm just hungry. Buffalo sauce and everything. Man, like, get those like chicken sandwiches dripping with buffalo sauce. There was Hardee's had one of those for a while, and my former roommate and I, he and I would always use these Hardee's buy one get one coupons. We'd go to Hardee's and like, bro, right there. We'd go to Hardee's and spend like $8, and everything would be buy one get one for like $8, $4 each. We'd get like 2 burgers each and like 2 things of fries, and then we'd just have like a 2-liter Coke. It's like the worst diet I've ever had in my life. I just moved to Inskip, and Inskip was famous for burgers. They have 50 different locations. Yeah. Can you do another conference one? You bet. You got it. Man, everyone's like talking about burgers. 4 times the sample. You got it, Marissa. Okay, let's do another conference roll one. I think there's a conference roll one. I'm trying to remember one right now. We can make up one right here. Here's every conference roll problem ever. It's like every conference roll problem ever. So this is usually how they start out. I say usually, like everyone can be different. You want, been typing on a Mac and the keyboard's have to really press down on this. Want to make a confidence interval for the percent, the true proportion of customers who order the farmhouse burger at Stock and Barrel, best burgers in Knoxville. Oh my gosh. I'll stay up here. Like someone's gonna get mad at me. Like, he said Stock and Barrel's the best burgers. I'm mad at Brian. Did I misspell Knoxville? Cool. There we go. From a sample of 200 people, 50 people ordered the burger. Make a 90% confidence interval. Okay. Okay. Nancy's tip. Cool. Nancy's Pizza in Chicago, hole in the wall. But oh, cool. Cool. This is stuff right here, Rachel, and I think Thomas asked. This is really good stuff for this test right here. This is confidence intervals for the true proportion. So this test is confidence intervals for the true proportion, and the formula for this right here is going to be p hat plus or minus z star p hat q hat over n. Now, how do we know? Well, one, this is the only confidence interval formula for this test. This is the only confidence interval formula for this test. So who in the chat can tell me what p hat is in words? I want you to explain to me what p hat is. Like, teach me what p hat is. Be like, p hat means this. Like, tell me what it means. I got everyone hungry in the chat. Tell me what p hat means, like, in words. Like, at all these points in these videos, you need to stop and be like, what does p hat mean? How do I identify that in a problem? Because I didn't give you p hat for this problem. P hat is the sample proportion. You are right. That means, like, when we take a sample, the proportion of people or things in a sample that conform to the answer. That is exactly correct. It is what we observe in a sample. Great answers. And then what can we use p hat to get? We can use p hat to instantaneously find what? So we can use p hat. Walker, nice answers in the chat. Walker's explained it perfectly right there. Everyone else is too, not just so, but great answers. Applies to the sample, not the real world. Jessica, great answers. So p hat is the sample proportion. Remember that. And q hat or q is the complement of p hat or p. So what we have right here is that p hat is the sample proportion. It's what we observed in the sample. So what would p hat be in this problem? Walker gave the equation too. So we need to identify in this problem that we have right here n is 200, and then we have right here x, and then we have right here, this is not the z-score, but it's how you find z-star. I'm going to put a star on it, but that star means like that's not the z-score. Like that is how you find it. Sample proportion minus the, I don't quite understand, Tracy. Maybe rephrase it and I'll maybe is my answer. But Jake puts in the chat how to find p hat. So p times q over n. Now, this is the standard error. This p hat times q hat over n is literally just what we call the standard error of p hat right here. That is the standard error. We don't usually write it like that, but this right here. So I want everyone to remember that I want you to kind of talk about this. I want you to think about it right here. And people are solving in the chat. I want you to just tell me a sentence with p hat. Tell me like the proportion of people in my sample who bought the farmhouse burger was this. That is, think about that. The proportion of people in my sample, the sample proportion. I want you to write a sentence in chat just to make sure, help yourself remember it. The proportion of people who bought the farmhouse burger in my sample was this. It's very key that you say sample here because this is not P, which would be for all people. That's the difference between P and P hat. P is for everybody and P hat is for a sample. So the proportion of people who bought, let's type it in chat. We're gonna wait for people to type it right here. I think there's like a 3-second lag behind me, but who's got me? Who's got it right here? Who's got it? The student I keep saying error. Yeah, Jackson, I think we'll be pushing it back. It looks, I'm 99% certain we'll be pushing it back because I think the whole world's trying to access it right now. The proportion of my people who sample who bought the farmhouse burger is 20.25 exactly. 25 people in this is in the sample. So 25% of people in the sample bought the farmhouse burger, or 0.25 is the sample proportion of people who bought the farmhouse burger. So you can say 25% of these people, which is a sample, bought the farmhouse burger. The proportion of people who bought the farmhouse burger is 0.25. Yep. And make sure to say in the sample. So from a sample of 200, we observed that 25% of them bought the farmhouse burger. Just make sure you can talk about it. And we're just using these numbers right here to talk about it. In a sample of 200, 25% of them bought the farmhouse burger. What is 25%? That would be 50 out of 200. 50 is X. And we see the formula that people have been putting in the chat. Thank you very much, chat. We see here p hat is equal to x over n. That is just a separate formula which has you solve for p hat. There we go. Nice job. It's Nami. So the proportion of people in the sample who bought the farmhouse burger is 0.25. If you want, like Tion told me, if you want me to put a phonetic pronunciation, if I say your name wrong, I say everybody's name wrong, even my own sometimes. So what we have right here is we have p hat. And now we will solve. We want that square root back. And let's take it right here and let's solve the problem. What are we going to need to do to get a 90% confidence roll? To get a 90% confidence roll, we need to go in here and put 90% in, and it's 1.6445, but it'll say, no, 1.6449. It'll say 1.645. There we go. Extra decimal. 1.645 is the z-score. The z-score is related to the percent confidence. So this z-score right here we see on the screen is covering, do you see the curve up top? The curve up top is 90% shaded in the middle. Now it's 95 and the z-score gets wider. Now it's 98 and it gets even wider. But this is what we have going on right here. This is a 90%. That's so weird. Is there, that's weird. My screen has like a white spot on it, but I don't know if it's on that monitor or not. Like if there's a dead pixel. Oh, it's gone now. So we want a 90% confidence roll right here. And that would be a z-score of 1.645. Let's go back to the problem. Let's put it in. Good. And then we need 200. This is the problem now solved. This is a lot of the confidence roll homework, covers things like this. We just need to now solve it. Be very careful. I always solve it by parts, as in I go here and I go 0.25 times 0.75 divided by 200. And there's that. So we just solved this in here. For everyone looking, we just solved this. We times that by 1.645. What have I found right here? I'm going to write it down, but I want you to be thinking in the chat. I just found this right here. So what did I just solve? And oh, I don't think I square rooted that. I think I did not square root. I think that looked a little bit funny. Sorry. Sound Canadian there right there. Sorry. That was not square rooted, I believe. Yeah, that was too small. We all make mistakes. Did anyone say that? And they are correct. This is the margin of error. Wow, we got a nice interval. Can anyone tell me my interval right now? We have the margin of error. So if the margin of error is 5%, Marissa, great job. So, and everyone, Brian and Peyton, everyone, awesome job in the chat. We'll make some more mods here. But can anyone tell me what the interval is? As you're looking at my problem, can you construct the interval from this right here? Can you construct the interval from what we have right there? Who can construct the 90% confidence roll, and then who can interpret it? Who can construct it? And we've made some more mods. Cool. We're 90% confident that the true proportion of customers who order the Stockhouse Burger at Stock and Barrel is contained in the interval technically. Don't worry. That is like the least of our concerns right now to say false. But think about this. My hands will like contain my face. My face doesn't really like fall between my hands. Don't worry. That is so... Oh, you used to work there? Hey! I love it. I love it right there. I hopefully you liked it and hopefully they treated you well. But we got to ask you, Lydia, now, what was your favorite burger there? What was your absolute favorite burger there? Did you have a favorite? If so, is there an off menu item we can all order, and then when we order it, they'll be like, "How do you know about this burger?" Is it like? And if you have more questions, feel free to ask. But great job, it's Namey. So we've got a lot of answers in the chat. Everyone's doing it properly. Look at Walker's interpretation, A+ interpretation Walker. I'm putting it should say contained in the interval, but don't worry about it. Like that's one of those statistician kind of like, we're just arguing over small words things, but not that big of a deal. So I think that's great right there. Who has another question? I think, Walker, you wanted me to cover decision trees, so we could do some decision tree stuff right now if you want. Did you say cover decision trees, Walker? And so I know you've been here quite a while, and we could talk some decision trees real quick if you want. Do the Ring of Fire, put pimento cheese on it. Oh man, that sounds awesome. So Ring of Fire with pimento cheese. You know, when this whole thing ends, maybe I'll just go and do that. That would be my treat sometimes, like when I'd go out and play Pokemon Go, and I'd just be like, well, it's Friday night, I'm just gonna go and get a burger, because I don't know, I don't want Chelsea to go to Ruth Chris right now while she's doing, but I would just be like, I'll just get a burger for myself. Decision trees, it looks like the votes are in for decision trees. So, you know what we're going to do real quick? We're going to do one fun thing right here. We're going to take a vote on the best cheese. So, best cheese. And here's the options. Let's get the options in here. Here we go. We need some votes on best cheese. You ready? The vote will start in just a second. I need to prepare these. Let's get votes on best cheese while I get okay, so the poll should be started. Tillamook. I think I've had that before, so I didn't put that in. I'm so sorry. Take your votes on the best cheese right here, and then type 1, type 2 error will be on the next test, Campbell. So we got already some votes in right here. I need to set this up. If anyone streams here and wants to give me advice on streaming, I'm always up for it. I'm not a complete newbie to streaming, but I'm always trying to understand Streamlabs and everything better, and it's kind of cool learning it all. Okay, so let's see. What data do I have in Jump? Project 2 data. Cool. Whoa, this is pretty interesting. You do the exclamation point vote. Sorry, I don't have I wish I could put in anything, but then it would probably get pretty crazy. It's pretty neat, how I can do this. Pepperjack. Oh, Pepperjack is good. I think I've had Tillamook. I know I've heard of it, but I really thought Blue would win or Cheddar, but we'll end the voting right here. Here we go. We'll complete the voting. It should say in the chat. I'm going to keep looking at these features. So yeah, Swiss won out. Wow. Who'd have thought? Swiss, over half the people liking it. Swiss is pretty good. It's interesting. Tillamook and Origin, a huge dairy farm at the coast. Oh, cool. Yeah, I don't know if I had it. Oops, wrong one. What do I have? Oh, I have some Gouda. I have Gouda and cheddar right now. 2 cheeses. And I got a lot of Triscuits. Gouda, cheddar, and Triscuits. So I just like making cheese. I like, what's it called? The charcuterie boards. So my sister gave us one of those. And so I'll make one of those for Chelsea and I. And I'll just like eat all the cheese and the meat too. I don't know. Like I'll have a huge board and then I'll eat, I don't know. It's good stuff. Gouda and Triscuits is great. It's Gouda. We went to Hawaii and a guy at the Arizona Memorial was all excited. We knew, oh, that's so cool. Yeah. Oh, I've never been to Hawaii. Last time I was out of the country was on a mission trip to Jamaica. Yep. And that was, oh God. That was a quarter of a century ago. Quarter of a century ago, I was out of the country. Let's talk about it that way. 25 years ago, live stream in Hawaii. I would totally do that. I could be carrying around the camera and stuff live streaming. So, we might try to do some interesting stuff. Here, I'll tell you guys this last little thing before we get started. Not a bad mission location. If we get the Twitch thing going, I might put like streams of video games, and I might if we reach goals. And once again, we applied for monetization on YouTube. This is just our last little thing right here. Oh, I cannot tread waves. We applied for monetization. It looks like it's going through, and then we'll take the hardest question right here. So we should get monetization. And if you ever see an ad on this channel, just know that every dollar that is generated by seeing ads, once again, they won't be on like lecture videos. I can choose what they go on. I might put them. I want the TI videos to be huge because I think I made really good TI tutorial videos and the jump videos, things like that. But if you see an ad, that money goes straight back into, we're going to put it back to students. We're going to put it for tutoring. Our goal is that StatLab becomes self-sufficient, that the videos kind of generate money that we then pay students with to tutor. So just know when you're watching an ad, you're actually just putting money into, growing Stat 201. And, but everyone's super excited about it. And if we were to do something on Twitch, where if we get Twitch subs, we'd do the same thing there. So, don't skip ads. You can do whatever you want. You can use an ad block or skip or whatever. I just don't want people to be like, why did I see an ad? And then it's just like, well, don't worry. The money from the ads is going back to students. And so I'd love it if we could become like the premier statistics channel on YouTube. That'd be so awesome. So, yes, we need Robot Brian next semester. We still got those plans in the works. A side note, this is moving back to chapter 14. Yeah, we can do that next, Harley, if you want. We need a tool on MyPearson. I don't know. I might play on that. Thomas, if you got that going, I might actually play on that. Will this video be posted? Yep. Courtney, it'll be posted. You can go back and watch it. And if people want to put in timestamps, thank you so much. I know one person in here has helped so much with the timestamps. You don't have to. I appreciate it so much. And you can always watch these videos at a faster speed. Even though I talk faster, it really helps. You'll make it happen. Well, there you go. We'll start building stuff. Just, man, you guys will get me addicted to Minecraft. You'll be like, I know how much Brian plays video games now. He was on Minecraft 10 hours yesterday. He just didn't sleep. I should take pictures of my Minecraft or make a video. Okay, I'll tell you this. Okay, here's right before we do decision trees. So Thomas and Jake, if we get to 50 Twitch subs, which I think is so easy to get to, realize this about Twitch. People can use their Amazon Prime to sub to Twitch. It's called Twitch Prime. So I'm mainly console. So, but I've got a really good PC right now. But if we get to 50 Twitch subs, I'll figure out a way, might be even harder than I'm thinking, to show off my Minecraft world. I might literally have to film it on my phone. I'll show you my shrine to Captain Planet. What did I have? I had one of those things where you jump down, you fall down into your, it was like a pool of water at the bottom. You jump from the top of the world to the bottom. I had wasn't a diving board, and I had all these oh man. And I didn't use creative mode. I built it all. So it all looks kind of crazy and sloppy, but yeah. So if we get to 50 Twitch subs, that's one of our goals right there. 50 Twitch subs, I'll show my Minecraft world. And then maybe at 100, I'll try a speed run of a video game. I'll speed run Super Mario in under 7 minutes, which is a horrible time for a world record. World record's 4:56 right now on that. Okay, have you ever heard yourself on slow motion? Oh no, that's too funny. We did that all. I'm sure, Tracy, you remember tape recorders and stuff slowing them down. Well, you need Twitch Prime. You need Prime subs. So hopefully, and I want, if we get education going on Twitch, I think Twitch would be pretty amused by that. Yeah. Yep. Let me show that real quick. Tracy asked a really good question. Then we're gonna do a little bit of, and then we'll get serious here. We took a pretty big break on this one. Tracy's question is, are there videos for the TI calculator? Used to do what sound like. So Tracy, here, let me show this right here, and then we'll do the, I always take the breaks between. If you go right here, you can see there's TI tutorials. And these are some of the videos I really want to monetize because I thought when I made them, they would take off. And they're very short videos showing you how to do a lot of the stuff like the homework problems. And so I tried to make them as clean, as easy to watch as possible. So they're very easy to watch. And these are all on the Stat21 YouTube channel. And I was really hoping they'd be huge and get, like tens of thousands of views, because some of the videos are very hard to see what someone's doing. And I try to explain what each thing is. Like I've got the notation over here for what everything is on the screen, and you can literally click and it shows you where to click from start to finish. So it's how to use the TI calculator, shows you where to click, and then you do it. Maybe with my spare time, I'll be remaking these videos and making like new versions that are even cooler. But I go through and I explain how to do each problem and explain the notation in the problem that you'll have to be inputting. So this is pretty much everything we cover in Stat 201. It's all the TI tutorials, how to use stuff. Like even like the normal CDF, this only has 352 views. Yeah, and this is an earlier one I did. So, but you see, it's been online for over 4 years, and it gets like, I don't know, less than 100 views a year. Okay, let's hop back into doing some problems right here. You ready for some decision trees? Here's the timestamp on decision trees. And no one has to give me timestamps, but thank you so much for those who do. Okay, let's do this. Let's go here to analyze, and let's go here to predictive modeling, and let's go to partition. Okay, we're going to drop our pen is what we're going to do. We're going to go and take original row number. Can we delete from here? Nope. We're going to go to original row number, remove it. We're going to remove major. You guys are like, we're doing the project all over again right now. We're going to go here and remove, it's favorite phone app, right? Where's favorite phone app? It's like 46. And then I think I'm missing one more. I think it's in the 20s. No, I think I removed that from originally. Okay, I think I got everything. You guys will tell me if I missed anything. These are, and so let's take a big note right here. Brian is removing what's right now, or things that act like what. Brian is right now removing things that are what or act like what's. Brian is currently removing these or things that act like these. Brian is currently removing these or things that act like these. Yep. And I like for you guys to say it. I like for you guys to be practicing along. Decision trees can predict quantitative or categorical variables, and they can take quantitative or categorical x's. So we're going to take all of these and put them inside of here. These are just all of our x's. And this is the way I do it when I make a tree, is I put everything inside of here, and then I say, what do I want to explain? So these are going to do the explaining. Like all of these variables inside of here are the explanatory variables. We'll deselect everything. So these are the explanatory variables. They're the x's. So does anyone have a variable they want to predict? You can say Q whatever. What variable do you want to predict right here? Let's do a categorical one. What variable do you want to predict? What do you want to predict? What do you want to predict? Anything? Let's see. Anything anyone wants to predict? We gotta have someone pick one. We'll be stuck here all day talking about burgers and Minecraft servers. What does anyone want to predict? Any ideas? Oh no. It's not the silence. Up, 41. Nice job, Catherine. Thank you so much, Catherine. 41. We could do that next. I'm going to choose high school GPA. People are giving answers. Q9. We might do Q9. Let's see. Broken a bone. Oh, we've done that one. So that is a perfect one right there. And we've done it so many times. Let's do student loans. Because I've done broken a bone so many times. That one works out really well, actually. I've just done it so many times. Student loans. Is that the one we did for the project? Burgers in Minecraft. So we're going to do this one right here. Great answers right there. If you notice, all of them would have worked. Q4. What was Q4? You say it with that many exclamation points. I have to know now. Let's look. What is Q4? Q4 is relation. Oh, yeah. Well, let's see. Let's do it. Okay, cool. So here's Q4. And why are people in relationships? Now, if you notice, it's really hard to see this up here. Is it so small? It's not even showing us the text for that. That very small category right here is people, I believe, who are widowed or divorced. We can find this out by going here and going to Analyze Distribution and click the right buttons, Analyze Distribution. and then go to this, and that very small category is divorced, and we also have an engaged and married. Now, the casually dating multiple people is here. This is single. Does everyone see this is single? This is dating multiple people. This is dating exclusive. This is engaged or married, and it's so hard to see, but there are 3 divorced people in this survey. So it's so hard to see. You don't even see it. It's so small. It's not that orange. I know you're like, I see that. No. That is the engaged or married. The widowed is so small, we can't even really see it. So let's start splitting the tree right here. Wow. What do you think is the biggest thing that tells us kind of what relationship someone is in? Just take a big guess. Like, people are less likely to be single if they're in what group? Also, look at how few people there are. We're going to talk about some important stuff with decision trees and how to read this right here. But do you see how this is so small? And these are all people who took Stat 201 who are what? You can kind of almost see. And you remember how I said there was something after the orange? I bet that's 3 people. I have a pretty good guess that that is 3 people. And how could I see? I want to see in the chat. How could I look at these leaves? There's only 2 leaves to see if there are 3 people right here who are my divorced people. So how could I see if these are my 3 divorced people? You should be saying in the chat right now, it is going to be the leaf report. And the leaf report is going to let me see what's going on right here. Where's leaf report? There it is. Leaf report shows me that the leftmost leaf, which is leaf number 2, you got it, has in it the 3 divorced people right here. Does everyone, oh, you can't see it. I got to move myself out of the way. There we go. These people right here are the 3 divorced people, and that's these people right here. Now, I want to point out how this is red. This is not the most beautiful of trees, but does everyone see here that this would be leaf 1? This whole thing right here is leaf 1, and this is leaf 2. This is leaf 1. This is leaf 2. This is leaf 1. This is leaf 2. And we can take a look at what happens right here. We can split it more. You don't always have to split 3 times. It's just, if you can tell, this one's getting pretty crazy. And this is why I didn't want to do this one for a moment right here, because it got pretty crazy. So we kind of got our good look at this one. Now let's look at a much easier one to look at right here. Okay, so was this one for the project? I think you could have chose this one for the project. So sorry if I'm doing like the project one. I think it is, because I remember doing this one 1,000 times. So this one right here, you'll notice, let's make sure we can read this. Decision trees will be on the test. That is correct, Abby. Great question, Abby. Does everyone see it? This is what right here? I want you to tell me something about these people right here. All of these people I'm highlighting right now are people who are in the leftmost leaf. So they are in the lower middle class or lower class. And then look, were these people over here in this leaf, were they more likely to have student loans or less likely to have student loans? These people I've highlighted, all of these people who are all these people right here. Do you see how like this box is this and this box is this over here? So this box over here, all of these points are right here. Do you see that distribution of red? It's that. And this distribution of blue is this. Very important to see what's going on right here. This is leaf 1, this is leaf 2. And this is the leaf more likely to have student loans. We'll go right here and we'll go to split again. And then we're going to click in a white space. There we go. Makes the points come back nice and neat. What is blue means student loans? Yes, that is correct. Great job right there, Jake. Blue means student loans, yes. Which leaf has the smallest amount of people in it? Which leaf up here has the least amount of people in it? Which leaf? Leaf number this. You don't have to know the numbers. It just makes reading it easier. So you always read from left to right. Leaf number 2, you're right, Walker. So this is leaf 1. This is leaf 2. I can't highlight it. This is leaf 2. And this is leaf 3. So down here, this is leaf 1. This is leaf 2. This is leaf 3. The leaves are always at the bottom. And if you look, this is the leaf most likely to have student loans. So you see there's a little bit more blue than this one. It's very hard to tell here. It's easier to tell right here that this is the most blue leaf. Leaf number 2 is the most blue. They are the ones that are most likely to have student loans, but they're very, very close to this over here. We'll go split again, and now it's split on leaf 1 right over here. 1. Oh, that was so cool. I think it's showed me what split off of it. Leaf 1, leaf 2, leaf 3, leaf 4. And let's take a look. Leaf 1, leaf 2, leaf 3, leaf 4. If you do the leaf report, let's go here to leaf report. Down here at the bottom, we have leaf 1, leaf 2, leaf 3, leaf 4, leaf 1, leaf 2, leaf 3, leaf 4. I want everyone to tell me, let's look right here, and let's see how many people are in leaf number 3 right now. So everyone see this leaf 3? It's the littlest leaf. It's the littlest leaf. You say, well, Brian, you got to show me. How many people are in leaf 3? So how many people are in leaf 3? The third leaf, which is this right here. How many people are in that leaf? How many people are in that leaf? The third leaf, 73. There are 73 people in that leaf. How many of those 73 people have student loans? How many of those 73 people have student loans? Nice answers in the chat. Kevin, let's make you a mod too. How many of those 73 people have student loans? How many? And we should see, I think the answers are coming up right now. 46 is correct. Well, people haven't said it yet. I'm giving the answer away. 46 of them have student loans. That's what this represents right here, because this is leaf 3, and this is leaf 3 right here. Next, let's do this. Let's talk a theory thing. This r squared right here means 9.7% of the variation in people having student loans is explained by the tree. So I'm going to put this in the chat right here. So it's blank percent of the variation in y is explained by the tree. So if you notice, and y should technically be something you input. Like I said, 9.6% of the variation in having student loans is explained by the tree. So that's what you have right there. Just 9.6% of the variation in having student loans is explained by the tree. Remember that r squared is not r. We say that all the time. It can deal with correlation, but r squared is not correlation. It's technically called the coefficient of determination. You don't have to write that down, but it's not r. R squared is not r. We like repeat that. R squared is not r. So all that good stuff right there. What happens when I split the tree more? What will always happen to r squared? Every time I split the tree, r squared, it was 9.7. Now r squared must do this. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. R squared must do this each time. R squared must do this each time. Every time you split the tree, r squared must go up. It was 9.7, now it's 10.4. It doesn't have to go up a lot, but r squared must go up because you're putting more x's in. Now I'd like for you to look at just the output down here. Which leaf has the people? Remember, blue is has student loans, red is does not. Which leaf has the people least likely to have student loans? Leaf number this has the people least likely to have student loans. Leaf number this has the people least likely to have student loans. Remember, red is not having student loans. Blue is having student loans. Leaf number this. Careful. Careful. Leaf number what? Am I wrong? I think it's not 4, I don't think. Because this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it'd be leaf number 5. Leaf number 5. So it'd be leaf number 5. And good to see you, everyone here. Julio and Sean and everyone. And this is... like streaming all this stuff. I can't wait till we have the green screen. So I just need a standing desk. Maybe I'll redo everything in here. I don't know. I got time. So you didn't see the middle leaf. Oh no, it tricked you right there. So hey, Calissa, so good to see you. So I love it, man. It's awesomeness. And so if you take a look, does everyone also see you can check the graphic up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's the 5th leaf up here. And you can see the percentage. Tell me about the people in that leaf. Tell me about, as we travel down, you travel this way, you go here, and then here. So, and it kind of makes sense. Actually, you only need to tell me 2 things about them. The people least likely to have student loans. And a lot of times, I'm not saying it has to make sense, but see if it makes sense. The people least likely to have student loans. I'll say this, I really like the Yahtzee stuff that like you sent me, Julio, because when you start doing probability stuff, you start seeing it everywhere. I watch a guy play a game called Isaac Game on YouTube, and he'll talk about oh no, I've been watching the speedrun stuff. Well, I still watch the Isaac. And they talk about the probability of stuff, and then they'll be like, it was just something about speedruns I was watching. I know I'm switching topics so much. But they were talking about the probability of getting this and then getting this and then getting this. And it was all multiplying probabilities, which we haven't done today. But that's Gini coefficient. Don't worry about the Lance. Lance, great question. That is the Gini coefficient, which is the purity of the leaves. Or Gini coefficient's a measure of impurity, I believe. Let me think. Gini is a measure of impurity, I think. I think it is. But that's Gini coefficient, if I'm not mistaken. So, or the Gini index. I think it's Gini index. A hover over might say. Tell me what you... But don't worry about that. We won't do that in class. I was doing it with baseball. Yeah, nice. I like Julio. I told so many people like how you just like with what like I don't know. I'm like, yeah, baseball uses statistics all the time. That's so awesome. It's so important. Stats is like everywhere. The upper class people who work more than 20 hours. You guys are right. Oh, thank you, Walker. I really appreciate that. Yeah, feel free to sub. Feel free to thumbs up, and we're gonna try to get help as many people as we can. But I think Walker does this. We kind of covered a lot of the topics right now for this. Decision trees only take categorical or quantitative variables. They can do a categorical Y, quantitative Y, categorical X, quantitative X. We don't use identifiers or things that act like identifiers. We can read the decision tree by going through it. Like you can see here that these people are in the middle upper class or upper class. They also work less than 20 hours, and these people here are in the upper class. So the people all the way down here are people that are really not likely to have student loans. They don't work that much, and they're in the upper class. It's just the way the data goes. The ones that are least likely to take out student loans are those who work less than 20 hours. So weekly hours work less than 20 hours. Yep, less. You got it. Keep asking questions. Who's got more questions? Might go for another 20, 30 minutes. And thank you, everyone, for being here. Can't wait to get... I'll have the green screen soon, and I might need to change up the lighting because I'll have to not have shadows on this. And once I'm green screened, I'll just be like a floating head. But I want it to be back where I'm standing. I just don't have a standing desk. I wonder if I could order one now. I do not have room for this. If I could, I would just like redo everything in this room right now. If you're welcome, Walker. We'll probably head off here, but if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. We did a lot of the homework problems to start, all the quiz problems. The test will be released later tonight. Elgato key lights. Yeah, is that like a ring light? Thomas, send me stuff on that, and then I might be able to get those ordered. But send me, do you have boxes? Boxes as in, I'm confused. Like box lights? I've got like LED panel lights. So and it starts to get hot in the room after a little while. Like I've been running my AC because if I don't, the room will get really hot. Oh, got an Elgato link. What is this site? Elgato. No, I know Elgato. Oh, we're going over to it here. Go. I trust you, Thomas. Elgato key lights. Is it gonna load? Oh, it's on a new tab. That's why. And I'm on the wrong side. Elgato. Oh, that's cool. Illuminate on command. Elgato, you make some nice products. How much are they? Oh, that's cool. Oh, yeah, I totally need that. Oh, what is that? That's a Stream Deck. Oh, wait. There we go. Stream Deck right there. One Stream Deck. Oh, that's my freaking Morty. Oh, this one's... I can't pull this one over. Let me not rip apart my whole studio right now. But I've got two Stream Decks. Is this one hooked up? That one of them might not be hooked up, but this Stream Deck is hooked up. Haven't been using it too much lately, but I should get back into practice. We haven't done that many transitions. Have you seen people make furniture out of tightly wrapped magazines? No, that's awesome. That is kudos to them. I have never even had a friend who did something like that in college. Unwrapping my mouse right here. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm really excited about. There we go. Okay. I need to set my stream up better like this guy has it. He's got a really good, you see his camera's in a really good spot. My camera's off to the side. His camera's a lot smaller, and that's the one. I wonder if I could get them to order me that camera right now. I should. By next week, I might have the camera I want. So I really like the camera we have right now. It's a 4K camera, but he can do what he's doing with his camera because of the way it is. And if I change what's going on right here, I'd actually able to be facing straight forward. Right now, check out. I think that's, would that work with streaming? So Jake, send me info on that. I looked up, there's a guy I watch, I think it's Alpha Gaming or something. He's giving me good advice. I think we're going to be extending it. So Reed, I think we'll be extending it. Very sorry, Reed. This happened around 3 p.m. today. So, and thank you for everyone for their advice. But that Elgato light right there looks that's a really good, he's got two behind him. He's got the stands. Yeah, it's a really good setup he's got right there. Like it's just very well put together. Yep, PewDiePie. Yep, it's like what camera are you wanting to get? What is it? Give me 2 seconds. The camera. I'll tell you it. You can tell me if it's a good idea. I've gotten clearance to get the stuff. Oh, here it is. Oh, it's close to what someone was saying. Oh, maybe they gave a newer model, so I was on the right track with what they suggested. There it is right there. And then you can tell me if my research was proper on this. You can be like, this is just streaming advice for Brian to end class. We're winding down right here. That's the setup I'm going to need for graduation. Yeah, it's like, and then there's that. And here's this. If you guys want, and send me his virtual setup. That's crazy. There's all the camera stuff. Oh, and then I heard the cam link is not that great. Oh wait, is that all my notes and everything right here? Hey, what's up, Vol? Good to see you. We're just ending the stream. Feel free to ask questions. You have it. You got the A6000. Works great for video. This one is set up right now through US. No. This is set up through. It's going HDMI, and it literally took me quite a while to get this set up. What is it going into? Oh, it's going into what's called a Black Magic box. So it's like it takes in the signals, and then I'm using the capture out on the 2080 Ti something, I forget. We've got the really good graphics card in this computer and everything. I don't know who it's. I don't know. That's a good question, Vol, right there. But yeah, we're just talking about streaming at the end. Oh, Woodwork, the A6500. Send me info on that. Which one did I put in the chat? I put so should I go for the 6500? So cool. Let's open it in a new tab. Where is these tabs going? So the cam link will use more resources on the PC than the web presenter, since the cam link does not have the hardware encoding that the Blackmagic. Cool. Okay, so we do need to still use that, because since we're encoding, we want to make sure, so the Blackmagic's doing the encoding. So you don't want to use your PC resources to do that. Thank you guys very much. Like, this is, doing questions, just studying in the, yeah, I know, right? We're going to extend the assignments, so hopefully this information will not be on the test, Paul. This will definitely not be on the test. Like, the Sony, the Elgato Cam Link will be more resource intensive than the Blackmagic video encoding box. But you can push the encoding in the GPU and you should be fine. Yeah, like, but I mean, what do you think? The GPU I have is the 2080, is that right? The TX 2080 TX. It's the really good graphics card, if you know what I'm talking about. I just can't think of the name of it, but we've got one of those. Extra. This is streaming advice for Brian. Let me try. Let me see if these links are opening for me. Let's see. Oh, cool. No, it's opening up here now. And then this one. Cool. I got it now. Oh, cool. The H6500 info. Oh, yes. I'm on Sony's site now. Oh, that is a nice camera. Yeah, we should definitely. Let me see if I can get that. And that's such a small camera. Is the 6500 going to have the, like, what are we going to do for the out on that? Because that would help me immensely if I was going straight forward. Oh, my life would be so much better than turning to the side. Because I'd just be doing this and looking up, and because everything I was tilted to the side now, because like this camera is so big, and then we could bring UT's cameras back, because this camera's way more expensive, but not really the one you'd use for this. And then the Reddit also. I'm recently person trying to get it work in OBS. I found many tutorials, but nothing with Sony Alpha. I can't get it to connect with the digital control. Oh, they're saying Blackmagic, yeah. And the person's like, did you ever get this working? That's how the thread ends. But it's like, yeah, it's a good Reddit thread right there. Bring a Pro Studio where you go with the Galaxy. What is this? Super speed processing and what? It's so crazy. Yeah. So maybe I'll ask for the 6500. Jake, thank you for that advice. Looks like I mean, so what would be the difference between Jake, if you're still here, I can't see who's left or anything. I wish it would be like so-and-so's left for big streams. That'd be crazy. What is the difference between the 6500 and the 5100? What would be the key differences between the 6500 and the 5100? Like, why would someone use a 6500 over a 5100? Let me go bring up. I'm going to look at this real quick right here. Cameras. Why would someone use the 5100 instead of the 61? I know that, and that's the question. Like, I probably need to justify it to be like, this is the one we need and why. Whoa. I just went to the $3,000 Sony cameras. The Alpha 7Rs. I have no idea what those even are. I know, it's good questions. I think it's a compact camera. Those are RX. Oh, what camera is it? Oh, there's the A mount. Here it is. Okay, so these are A mounts. I have no idea what an A mount even is, but what? They've only got 3 products. Oh no. Is it? Let me see here. I have an A7RII, but it keeps looking on for more details for you. Yeah, size still. Yeah, I think we'll be changing that, Tracy. I'm 99% sure. Well, yeah, this one right here is, so let's see here. Records in full 1080. It might be the 5100 might get the job done. Let me look at the 6500. There's one person selling it with 8 reviews. I'm like, I don't know if I want to buy something from someone with 8 reviews. 6600. Well, no one's got like a view screen. Don't need the view screen though. 6400. Whoa. What is the 6600? By Sony. Yeah, it might just be extra things I don't need. Well, awesome. So good. Does 4K? We 4K future or proof ourselves. So this has got it right here. I'm looking at the, just like the Amazon on it right now. World's fastest AF at 0.02 seconds with real-time AF and object tracking. 24 2 megapixels, 24 times 2. I don't know what that means. I know what megapixels are, but I'm totally confused. Awesome. 5-axis in body. So yeah, maybe I'll try to talk to my people tonight and see if we can get the stuff ordered because it'll help me a lot with the home setup. But that's got it. Any other? I think the 851 shoots up to 1080. Yeah. So, and has a mic input. Oh, well, that's going to be, see, that's interesting. How, because right now we're using the SMB7. Hello, SMB7. Probably sounded horrible right there. And we've got a cloud lifter. So if the external mic jack and headphones for professional audio monitoring. Does it show where that's at on it? Or is that external? Oh, you guys can't see what I'm seeing. Let's see. You have to make sure, get the right thing. I don't see where the external mic is. I'll have to read more about this. Well, send me info on this. Send me info, and we'll keep looking into it. The test will be released later. I'm going to head off, but thank you, everyone, for being here. Had a little fun at the end, and that's got it. So I'll see you guys and gals later. If you have questions, please email me. We'll probably be extending everything because it looks like MyPearson is down because everyone's using it. So stay tuned and email me if you have questions, give advice. Maybe we'll get that Minecraft circle. Megapixels just means basically how far you can crop in. Yep, 12 megapixels looks great on the iPhone. 12 looks great on a billboard. Oh, wow. So yeah, because like how much the pixel density, it's kind of like DPI. So awesome. I remember back with like 0.5 megapixel cameras. Craziness. Also, when people are working in Photoshop and you have to probably make like billboard stuff and you're literally opening up a file that's like probably like 4 gigs or something ridiculous because pictures can get pretty dense. But Jake and Thomas and everyone, awesome. I bet I can see the stream. We still have 22 viewers? That's awesome. We've been on this stream for a while right here. How many did we have for a while? We had 90 people watching at the start. Whoa, cool. Awesome. Well, this has got it. Let's head off here. We'll do the Rick and Morty outro, or the Rick and Morty intro outro, and I'll see everyone later.
Like TV from other dimensions has a somewhat looser feel to it.
Yeah, it's got an almost improvisational tone.